Hello and welcome to another episode of Facts with Felicia. I am your host again, Felicia, for this breaking story of incredible healing, desperate friends, and another miracle performed by, that's right, Jesus himself. You may remember Jesus in stories such as Wedding in Cana, healing the blind man, and feeding the 5,000. Stay tuned for this incredible story of a miracle performed by Jesus. That's right. The story begins with a man desperate for a miracle. He was a man that was unable to walk, for we don't know if it was at birth that he was unable to move his legs, or it was a terrible accident that may have happened. However, this man was very sad. He was depressed. He was unable to do the things that his family and his friends were able to do. Everyone around him was so devastated. They just wanted their friend or their family member to be able to enjoy the things that we are able to do, to be able to walk around, to do things for himself. He was in a very trying situation. But his friends, his 4 friends, they heard that Jesus was in a town close by them, maybe in walking distance, and they came together. They decided that this was the time for their friend to receive his miracle. They knew that Jesus was performing miracles around, so they had to decide, how do we take our friend? He's unable to walk. Let's take him in his bed. They carried him down the street. They came to the house that Jesus was located in. The house was packed, and the friends knew that there was going to be so many people, but they had to think, how are they going to get his friend through? They tried to push through the doorway. They tried to get through the people, and no one was moving. They wanted their miracle too, but they had no idea that this man and his friends were even more desperate for a miracle. They looked around. They decided, up on the roof, there must be a way to enter through there. They decided to get on the roof, bring up their friend, dig through the tiles. Destroying a person's house, they did not care. All they cared about was another miracle. The people in the house looked up. There were things, debris falling on their head. Jesus was across the room. He looked over with all the commotion. He stepped and saw a man coming down on his mat, being lowered slowly by his friends with a rope. And he said, they must be so desperate for a miracle. Jesus came up to the man. He said, he looked at the person, and he was so sad for him, being unable to walk for so many years. Jesus looked into the eyes of the man, and he said, get up and walk. Everyone around them were in disbelief. The man himself was in disbelief, but he knew and he had to believe he was ready for his miracle. So the man started to get feeling back in his legs. He started to move his legs, and finally he stood. He got up, and among the shock and awe of everyone around him, he stood. He stood up and he walked. He was forgiven of his sins, and yet again, another miracle by Jesus. Everyone around him was in disbelief, but they were desperate for their miracles too. Jesus did something so incredible that day. The man went home. He told all of his friends and family, and it was because of his 4 friends that knew they wanted their friend to experience a healing. This is the story, an incredible story of faith and knowing that Jesus was able to do this miracle to have someone who couldn't walk for years to be able to walk again. Believing in Jesus is an amazing feeling, children. It's an amazing thing because you have something that other people may not understand. They may not understand that a man has something so holy and so powerful and unlike anyone else they've known before. The power to be able to restore lives. That means to bring something that's broken back to life. Jesus can do that through healing people's bodies, but also through healing people's soul or their heart. That means that Jesus is able to bring back to life someone who was once in sin and now is made whole again. This story is incredible, children, and I hope that you have learned something today from this story, but also through your own lives. If you have something that you need healed today, you can call on to Jesus, even if he's not here with us in person or you can't go to him. He is still here. You can speak to him through prayer. You can speak to him through reading your Bible. You can speak to him even in the silence. You can hear Jesus. And that is the story that we wanted to tell you today. Please stay blessed, stay safe, and God bless.